Good day, folks. Today I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of LumaFusion running on the new MacBook Air with the M1 chip. One of the nice new features of these new MacBooks that were just released with the M1 processor, the architecture is now the same as your iPad and your iPhone. So apps that were written for iPhone and iPad can now run natively on a Mac computer, as long as it has the new Apple Silicon M1 processor. Now, of course, the developer does have to allow for that, and we're lucky that LumaFusion has allowed for that to take place. This is just the stock MacBook Air with 8 gigabytes of unified memory. I'm just going to close this down and I'll show you how to install it if you're not quite sure. Basically what you're going to do is launch the Mac App Store and then just do a search for LumaFusion. You can see right away that LumaFusion doesn't come up because they don't actually have a version that's written specifically for a Mac. Now at the top here you can see where it says Mac Apps, if you can see where the pointer is. So it's only listing software that was written specifically for the Mac. However, if we click over here on iPhone and iPad apps, you can see that LumaFusion is listed. So you can just go ahead now and download it directly to your MacBook Pro or your MacBook Air, as long as it's one with the new Apple Silicon M1 processor. Now I have run into a few little quirks, but nothing major. Let's go ahead and I'm going to launch LumaFusion here. You can see it's down here in the dock. Now it didn't do it there this time, but I have had it sometimes where these windows are really misproportioned. The preview window is a little tiny thing up at the top here. If you do happen to get that, just change the view and then go back to the standard view and it will fix that. Of course, let's bring it full screen here. And there you go. You can see we're running a full-fledged version of LumaFusion. Your mouse here works just like your finger. You can click around on stuff, drag stuff. Of course, your touchpad here, you can scroll through, as you can see there. If you're using a mouse with a scroll wheel, you can use a scroll wheel to move around the timeline. Here I'm using the Apple Magic Mouse 2. And again, when we're over the timeline, you can actually use it kind of to swipe around the timeline as well. We can go in, we can cut our clips. We can add transitions. We can drag titles down to the timeline. And for the most part here, we have our photo gallery that works the same way as whether it's on an iPad. You can see I've got a few things in here. I don't have a lot of content on this new MacBook Air yet. And we can, of course, just drag it down to the timeline and do our editing. You can import files in from your Photos app, and everything seems to work fine there. Now, the whole beauty of the Apple ecosystem, everything just works really nicely together. For example, I'm just going to slide this MacBook Air over. And over here I have the iPad Air 4. This is the newest iPad Air that was launched. And I'm going to launch LumaFusion on it. I'm just going to move this a little bit better so you can see what's going on the screen here. So anyways, I have a project open here. This is for a video that I actually uploaded yesterday. I edited it on the iPad Mini 4. But what we can do here now, say we've got this video half edited, but we want to finish it on the MacBook Air. We can send the whole project file over, files and everything, and finish editing it on the MacBook Air in LumaFusion. And I'll just show you quickly here how to do that. If we go down to the export button, like we would normally export it as a finished file, but instead of picking movie there at the top, we're going to select LumaFusion Project Package. Now there, down at the bottom, hopefully you can even see this, it gives us some options where we want to export the package. We can send it to the Files app, which you could then put to iCloud and then download that way, but we can actually airdrop it directly over to the MacBook Air. So I'm going to select Other App, Airdrop. It's going to ask us a little bit of information. We can send the full original media file, or we can just send the clip files, so it's only going to send what it needs. You can see if we send the full original file, it's 6.7 gigabytes. If we do the trimmed, it's only 2.35 gigabytes. So I'm going to select that option because it's a much smaller file. And then we're just going to click that button there. At this point here, we can now name the project. I'm just going to leave it as iPhone 12 compatibility. That was the video that I was working on. And then we hit that button there. And you can see there it's writing the project. So this will take some time to get all the files ready, and it just depends on how large and how many clips it needs to prepare. But it does move pretty quick. I've already tested this a few times with a couple different projects, and it actually moves pretty quick. So you can see there it's come up where we want to send it to. It gives us a few different options. Now under AirDrop, you can see the main thing it's wanting to send it to is my iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is what I'm filming on right now. But we don't want that, so let's click on AirDrop. And you can see there it's listing my MacBook Air. So I'm going to click on that there. And you can hear the MacBook is accepting it. Now I don't know if you can see at the top there if it's in screen or not, but it says receiving item from iPad Air 4. So now we just have to sit and wait for it to finish transferring. And as you can see, it's actually transferring pretty fast. It's pretty quick. This whole setup is pretty slick and it moves very quickly. You don't actually have to have LumaFusion open here. Let me go ahead and I'm actually going to close it. Now I actually did forget one step here. You can see that it's now done and it says open. So we will click open. And you're going to see here it's going to launch LumaFusion, and it's importing the project. Now it does ask you to sign in. That's another little quirk that I found with it. Every time you launch it, you have to sign in with your Apple ID. So hopefully that's something that they can correct. And there we go. The project is completely imported. So at this point, we can just go ahead and export it like normal. We can save it right to the Photos app, or we can export it to the hard disk. So everything works pretty well. Now definitely using it on an iPad is more intuitive with the touch. I don't know if I would give up editing on my iPad to edit on the MacBook Air in LumaFusion anyways. The other issue, I did run into a couple large files. I was doing some test exporting yesterday, and some of the large files kind of froze up on me. I had to do a force restart of the app. So definitely I wouldn't get rid of your iPad just quite yet. But this whole setup is new, and I'm sure LumaFusion is going to be doing some tweaking of it over the coming months. We may end up getting a version that is better suited for Macs, but I guess time will tell. You can also use your keyboard shortcuts for certain things. For example, we can do Command B, and you can see there it splits the clip. There's all kinds of keyboard shortcuts. You can just do a quick search on Google for LumaFusion keyboard shortcuts, and it'll list them all there for you. Now, just one quick thing here. If your keyboard shortcuts aren't working, if you go up to LumaFusion, that little taskbar there up at the top, and where it says Touch Alternatives, make sure there's not a check mark there. You can see here when I select Touch Alternatives, you can see now there's a check mark there. When we go back to the timeline and I go to use a command, you can see it's not working. As soon as I take that out, you can see it now works. Well folks, that's basically it for my video. Hopefully you enjoyed it and got some value out of it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. And we'll see you in the next one.